Welcome back to another recap video, man. Welcome back. Today wasn't as exciting. I kind of came into that. It came into the session anticipating that, just for the simple fact that yesterday we had NFP. Tomorrow we have CPI. There was no news today, so it was like a gap day in between two major news events. So I had really low expectations for price action today, and I'm pretty happy with my performance. It wasn't a win, but I did save myself $150, which is a win. So it's a win, but just not in the green, if that makes sense. So let's get into it right away. Coming into the session, the main thing I'm kind of keeping an eye on is the way we closed yesterday inside this volume imbalance. I have that labeled here. You'll kind of see it a little bit better when I go to the lower time frames. We're respecting this order block on the daily. We're respecting this tiny inefficiency, even though it's tiny, it still is an inefficiency. So this wick right here kind of gave me a little bit of narrative as to why price might be going a little bit higher. We had the that closure, like I said, it respected the volume imbalance and then started trailing up a little bit higher. So this was this was where we were when we came into the session. I wanted to see if price respected this hourly gap slash 15-minute gap. I wanted to see if price would sweep London low into this and kind of reverse and take out these equal highs that we left. And we still have so many equal highs up here that kind of made me feel like we should see those sooner than later. Um, so I did want to see a sweep of this and then possible reversal, but as you can see, we just traded completely down through the gap and through sell side, and we swept this. But at that point, it was just more, I guess, confirmation for me to want to go long after I show you what I saw on the 1 minute time frame. So we come down to this low, we sweep it. We're still heavily bearish at this point. Once we invert this gap, I'm trying to see what price does in terms of this this bullish inefficiency here. I wanted to see how price reacted to that. And once I saw this respect here, I wasn't going to enter here just because when price is dropping so aggressively and you get one inverse like this, I kind of want to see a little bit more, especially with how weak this one closed. If this would have continued up and formed a gap like this, I would have took it here. But I wanted to see more of confirmation, right? So we're closing above the midpoint of this inversion. We're respecting this one. So once we see this reaction here, I'm like, okay, that's exactly what I want to see. I have some buy side up here where I could use for to go break even, sorry. And this is what the trade looked like for me. So I entered here. My stop loss is at that low. And you already know the drill, targeting 1 to 2, which kind of lined up a little bit perfectly with the 50% of the opening range gap, which is from this close to this opening price here. You get 50%, which is right above London low. So once I see, you got to keep in mind, I'm always looking at ES at the same time, right? So once I'm seeing that, okay, we're coming down, we're testing this gap again with this wick. I kind of thought I would get stopped out here, but this close kind of made me kind of feel good about the way that we come down. We're respecting this gap. We're still not closing in here in the bottom half of it. So at this point, I wanted to see this continue rallying. So once I see that this candle closes up here and we're pushing a little bit higher, I then go break even because I'm like, at this point, there's really no reason for me to hold on to this trade. But the main key is that ES was taking buy side at this time, right? So if you look at this high, which is 958, with this high, which is 1006, you see 958 and 1006. So we pushed into the midpoint of the opening range gap on ES. We took buy side, and Nasdaq was still below. So I'm like, I don't like the way that's looking. So I kind of used it as the reason that I closed. Because if not, as you guys saw here, I would have gotten stopped out and left a lot of studying for that, because it's pretty obvious. Like you have that SMT at these highs, and you want to see Nasdaq push up aggressively when ES is taking these highs, or if not, you kind of know you're in a little bit of a situation. And then if you let it play out, it just teases you again. And one thing too is that when you see price action like this, just because we come back down and form this gap again, that doesn't make it a good setup, because you're now, how do I say it? You're now in a position where this becomes lower probability for you, because we inverse this, we come up, we inverse this, then we come down, and we're still chopping around, then we come up. You can't just magically expect this candle, this fair value gap to hold, especially not after you see all this chop. And then you chase it here, you get stopped out pretty quick. Then you chase this short, you get stopped out pretty quick. Then it's just too many overlapping PD arrays that aren't respecting each other, and then you see that dump. We didn't even get a retracement into the 15-minute gap, which is kind of interesting. I haven't checked if ES did get that. Yeah, so ES got that, which made it another good reason to go break even, because you're seeing that ES is coming up into this 15-minute gap while Nasdaq is still not doing so. So overall, I'm happy that I took the break even and kind of just let it be, because a lot of times I would have chased this and eventually led to blow up and blown accounts and all that shit. So the break even saved me $150, and what I'll do is I'll add the execution on here so you guys could see that. And then hopefully I put up a recap tomorrow, because we got CPI, so it should be a little bit cleaner than this. I'll catch up, man.